I really enjoyed Summoners Fest 2025. It may have been considered that it ran like a bit longer than maybe it should do, but that's because they had to squeeze a lot into it. It was certainly fun learning about new things coming to the game, and even the competition side of things was fun or at least interesting to watch. Kabam did a better job with allowing the progression through these particular events of being like one round and done, or 2 rounds and done, or best of two, because it just improved the pacing of things. I also really enjoyed like a lot of information about new stuff coming to the game, which, let's face it, that is the PR, that's the fluff side of things of all this stuff. But maybe I gave Kabam too much credit when it came to covering things of an important nature. A lot of things were in the big takeaways video that I did, and the takeaway is addressing some of the problems which are pain points for the community. And this may be stuff that comes out in some of those dev Q&As, but at least Kabam Crash, and I want to give a massive respect and props to Kabam Crash for doing a little post, which we're going to be reacting to and look at why it wasn't mentioned, or how Kabam are planning to deal with stuff in the future for key matters that the player base has, which were not addressed at Summoners Fest. In this paragraph here, Kabam Crash basically says about the issues that he experiences, and look, there are introverts and extroverts when it comes to interaction. I'm very much an extrovert, but I do have at times high functioning anxiety, which does mean that I'm able to get on stuff absolutely fine, but still have some kind of like, I don't know, underlying kind of like, oh, I might have concerns or kind of worried about stuff here or there. But I kind of get different people, different thoughts, different feelings around how they experience interactions with people. So that's kind of an interesting revelation and a bit of honesty and transparency there. But that's not really relevant to the discussion point. I'm not sure how people feel about Colosseum. I'm looking forward to it. The Colosseum does sound like a fun way to kind of interact where maybe we haven't seen it before. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Colosseum. And it definitely looks like there's a lot of kind of positive feedback towards this, whether or not it's Summoners Fest people in person saying that they enjoyed it or like the idea of it, or this is people like, I don't know, either on the forums going like, I like the idea of it and stuff kind of like that. And of course, the meat to all this is right here. So people it seemed like, of course, the 4 days, started Thursday, since there was the day people started arriving and the conversations began. Summoners wanted to talk to me about a wide array of things, many of them like progression, currencies, future game modes, and champions were covered on the live stream. Beyond that, there were 5 common themes Summoners raised that we didn't cover in detail, and I want to acknowledge them here to demonstrate we aren't ignoring them. Now, this all just might be a bit of a fluff piece with no kind of like, so let's have a look. What do Kabam have to kind of like say on matters of importance? First of all, communication. Summoners told me they want to see more from us on this front. It's something to do. I do my best to promise, but I can be challenging and muster the energy when I know every post I make is going to be met by a litany of angry DMs. That's bad. Like people really that. I kind of feel like it's better to have them like in the comments of stuff, because it's then always kind of like a focused kind of like discussion point, rather than people taking it upon themselves to kind of like do some kind of like attack. Put it in a public. What are you actually saying to Kabam Crashed? Put it in like the comments. Just put it out there of what your kind of thoughts are, because it could be constructive. It may be like destructive, and maybe those people need to be outed if they are being kind of like rude, obnoxious. And like, I'm not saying Kabam get it right all the time, but it's like there's a difference between going out of your way to kind of like wish someone very of ill will. But I'd be interested to see what these angry DMs are saying, and who as well, as that's another thing. So it's great to hear that many summoners are engaging with our team in good faith. The desire for better communication is what has inspired me to write this post. But also, I'm thinking that maybe the reason people are angry is that they're frustrated with not hearing an answer. They're frustrated because they don't feel as a community member that their voice is being heard. And maybe that's why communication should be a big factor. So maybe that's an interesting thing to go ahead in the future. Like if Kabam crashed, I'm not saying it him, but kind of like if there was more if Kabam crashed, started feeding a lot more information from game team downwards to allow them to communicate, then would we be seeing so much angry DMs? Are people looking for like, I don't know. I just feel like if communication is If people are frustrated, it's because they're not feeling their voice is being heard. And that's why they may be getting angry in a certain kind of tone or way. So the hot topic, AI, something that I felt that was really missing any kind of like meaningful update. As I'm sure you would all expect, AI was a hot topic. We had considered doing a session on AI at Summoners Fest and decided against it because the technical nature wouldn't be appropriate for the kind of action-packed experience we wanted to deliver. We have made substantial progress on AI 2.0. So it's nice to hear about that now. And the team is working on an update to share with Summoners right now. Okay, brilliant. I know that the game team has communicated to leadership that it was a top priority for Summoners and thus priority for us. Good. So my biggest issue with this is all about the quality of the game from a fight perspective. This is when I don't give a piddly crap about what's coming to the game in the future when it comes to like events. Yes, I do care about new modes. Yes, I do care about restructuring stuff for progression. And I do care about lots of different things. But when something has been so bad for such a long space of time, and with other fighting games coming out like Marvel Token next year, as well as other video games doing such a great job with their AI, their NPCs, and the things that you interact with, a defender, a enemy, like whatever they're doing, their pattern of nature of play, of rotation, of interaction with you, whether you're attacking it or interacting with whatever, it's like it needs to be and should have been for a long time a big focus, rather than going, oh, we're going to do this deal here, we're going to do this mode there, we're going to have this season or session thing here or there or everywhere. And it should be something to go, this is a fighting game, like predominantly we fight, but has been something that's just like, oh yeah, we're doing something. 2 months later, we're still doing something. 10 months later, we're still doing something. We're going to update you soon. Hopefully. There's a bit of an admission here. We've had a very rough Q3 when it comes to product quality. Thankfully, it seems like the shadow has started to lift and we absolutely know we need to go further. We have made a commitment to build a better testing and QA process, something we should be able to talk about more in the coming months. Again, that's good. I just don't know why, like, this year, it's like somebody just grabbed somebody at like Kabam and just shook them up and just went, look, do you want this game to kind of like go on further? I don't know where this kind of like just weird stuff when it comes to like how the CEO operated at Summoners Fest. Again, nothing against that. Okay, secret boss type thing. Okay, fine. He's seen the TV show, but again, that doesn't mean to say that you understand what's going on in the trenches. I've had countless like CEOs that I've worked with, leaders that don't really understand at a base level what goes on right at the very bottom. And I'm sure you've had a boss, or a CEO, managing director that kind of thinks they know how things work down at the bottom when it comes to like engineering, blah, 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 blah. And they just kind of don't know, right? I'm not saying that's him, but I would say over the last year, we've seen a decline. So it's good to know that from a game team perspective, and in general, somebody has gone in Kabam and just shook people up and gone, look, this has got to be resourced. We got to do better and stuff like that. Right, moving on. What else? Defenders. So that's another thing, but defenders is definitely something. Summoners believe the meta has been created by recent defender releases, has made the game less enjoyable. This is an active conversation on the game team, and we are working to identify opportunities to mitigate the negative impact these defenders have had. Know that this is absolutely top of my mind as we build out the design for Fortress Assault. Good, as we do not want its meta to be repetitive fights against these oppressive defenders. So I saw a really excellent video, I think it was by Nagasi, like a little while ago, who talked about the state of being at the top end of Battlegrounds and how that is just very much just boredom. It's bullshit on repeat with the same champions, same defenders being replicated on use, and it becomes boring, it becomes repetitive, and you might be going, well, aren't people responsibility for going like, well, I'm going to fit this defender in, well, the opposition goes, I'm going to fit that defender in. Well, what do you do? Like, that's again the same problems, kind of, again, bullshit on repeat is the same thing, and it definitely needs to be addressed. And kind of like and this is great because the community are feeding back information and Kabam just need to use it, and that's been the case for the last 2 years. It just hasn't been listened to. It's only now that it's kind of like, again, the shake-up of doing stuff. So I'm all for this. Let's see what the future holds with it. Being Titan Crystal dupes. Finally, many players shared the frustrations about max duping champions from the Titan Crystal, resulting in a handful of Titan shards. Right now, our technology does not know where a dupe comes from. However, we can differentiate the source in data, and we are exploring a makeshift solution addressing the issue before the end of the year. So that's good as well for value of investment in opening a Titan shard crystal. So maybe it's best to kind of like hold on to those Titan crystal shards until the end of the year. But again, this is the difficulty because I've got this topic I'm going to be doing in a video, because as much as it's all well and good, people might kind of question like, oh, should you be holding on to your crystals right now? Well, the difficulty I've got is I need to acquire champions. Like, I cannot get the time to farm the units to get selectors. I'm not spending any money in the game, so therefore how do I get some of these newer champions, or champions I do not have that I desperately need to then increase my 7-star roster widthways and have some coverage in certain places, because the 6-star and ascended 6-star is just not going to be there in the future. We've seen that with what was announced at Summoners Fest. So that's kind of like where I'm at. So all this and this response from Kabam Crashed is very positive. It's just that I kind of feel like I needed this information yesterday, but I'm glad they're dealing with it to at least give some answers. So this looks positive for the future. For a lot of players that have already left the game, it's too little too late. May not come back, but we'll see. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. What are your thoughts around some of the things that Kabam have announced that they're going to be actually dealing with? Put in the comments. I see this as a positive, even though, of course, it comes at a damage point. Is this, what is it called? It's not damage retention, it's damage control, kind of. But yeah, I am happy, by the way. I am happy about this stuff, and I am looking forward to seeing how things are going to improve. And I also want to say thanks to Kabam Crash for taking his time out to actually write this. I think if there wasn't something like this out of the back of the Summoners Fest, then this would have been very disappointing. Or disappointing. Not very, but disappointing. Because I enjoyed the event. I feel a lot more stuff will come out from the dev Q&As. But I don't know. I kind of feel like there should have been a segment in Summoners Fest. Because it wasn't it seemed like it was a fluff piece for a fluff stream in certain places for new things coming to the game and positivity. But then maybe there should have been a section about like currently working on, like maybe a roadmap, quick splash of, or a kind of a in development stage, like in development section in Summoners Fest. And maybe that was something for Sunday as opposed to Saturday. But anyway, that's that. Thank you very much for watching. What are your thoughts? Put it in the comments. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a lovely day and goodbye.